Queen summoned everyone to a private meeting. Everyone attended except Meghan Markle. I don't blame Meghan for not going, because nothing good happens when white people invite you to the countryside. We've all seen Get Out. We know how this shit ends.
Meghan Markle is on the American program Suits.
Yes, Wednesdays, 8 p.m, USA Network. Check it out.
The only difference between that show and this is people watch this one.
Generously offered to keep the wax figures of Harry and Meghan safe.
Yeah, that's correct. I would just like to say that I'm definitely not using the wax figures for sex stuff.
I don't know how to break this stew, H. But if you weren't in the royal family, M wouldn't be with you.
When Trevor Noah took aim at Meghan and Harry, it felt way different from the usual late-night comedy hits. His breakdown was sharp, smart, and came from a global point of view that hit deeper than a simple joke. It wasn't just comedy, it felt like a full cross-check of the whole situation. To understand how the Sussex story turned into worldwide chatter, we've got to break it into 3 parts. Trevor Noah's layered critique that set everything in motion. Then came a massive wave of comedians from the US and UK jumping in. And finally, one joke got so controversial it sparked serious backlash online and offline. While many comedians took shots, one British comic made a joke about the royal line of succession that many felt crossed a line way too far. It turned into a moment so intense it caused a full firestorm. We will get to that exact clip, but first, we start with the main voice behind it all.
She comes from an unconventional family. Yes, very different family. I was like, yeah, man, she does. Just like Harry.
Trevor Noah's sharpest tool was his unique take on race, which he used to break down royal drama like no other American host could. But Noah didn't just crack jokes about race. He called out coded language he noticed others using, exposing the hidden meaning behind the whole Meghan conversation. But Noah's critique went beyond race. He also focused on their new life in America, especially Harry's lack of a normal job. He even imagined what Meghan, as a modern American woman, might be saying to her prince. From there, Noah pointed out how wild it would actually be for a prince to step into everyday work life, building a scenario that showed Harry's unusual situation. Account, my lord. This idea of Harry trying to find work wasn't just theory. Noah also picked up on the real story of Harry pitching Meghan for voiceover work at a movie premiere, treating it like a symbol of how strange things had become. This constant mockery of their work and status pushed Noah to ask the big question: what does it even mean to be a royal anymore? He joked that even losing their titles wasn't the biggest royal loss he could think of: Harry. He then pointed out that in the modern world of celebrity, the titles themselves had become almost irrelevant. They were already famous on a first-name basis. Them?
This is what happens when you bring the first black woman into the royal family. She looked at Harry and she's like, "Nigga, you need to get a job. You a grown-ass man. You can't still be living in your mama's house, Harry."
Even with their fame locked in, Noah looked ahead and pointed out one last funny twist in their choices, imagining what their family future might look like. Noah had laid out the case against them from every possible angle. Soon, the rest of the American comedy world would join the pile-on, and that pile-on quickly moved beyond simple jokes and into full-blown skits and bizarre rants. The mockery even became surreal, starting with Conan O'Brien. When the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum famously removed Harry and Meghan's figures from the royal display, Conan used the opportunity for a truly surreal and bizarre comedy bit. When Conan asked for an update on the figures, things took an even more bizarre turn. While Conan leaned fully into absurd humor, Saturday Night Live went in a different direction, using recurring sketches to poke fun at the couple, often with cast member Mikey Day playing an exaggerated, attention-chasing version of Prince Harry. In one sketch, the actor playing Prince William used the moment to throw a direct jab at Meghan's show Suits. Jokes about Suits being unwatchable became a running theme, turning into an easy punchline for William's character as he reflected on family life and public pressure. The sketches also leaned into the well-known tension between the brothers, even adding jokes about appearance and rivalry that pushed the drama further into comedy territory.
Can you imagine being his boss when he screws up? Like, what do you call him in and say, "Prince Harry, get in here, your majesty! You blew the Henderson account, my lord!"
The mockery didn't stop there and even stretched into Harry's past relationships. In a sketch featuring guest host Emma Stone, she plays one of Harry's exes who sarcastically explains why she feels relieved she didn't end up in Meghan's position. But one of the most unusual comedic moments came from Joe Rogan. This wasn't a scripted sketch, it was a real-life rant caught in the spotlight. The roles were flipped completely. This time, Prince Harry had criticized Joe Rogan over misinformation claims, and Rogan responded by retelling the moment he found out about those comments in a very direct way.
Back in the day, it used to be like, if you marry my daughter, I'll give you burgundy. Now it's like, my wife actually does a pretty good Timon. You should hear her. Come on, baby, do the thing. Hakuna Matata, do the thing.
His first reaction wasn't anger, but a strange mix of surprise and self-reflection that turned the situation into something unexpectedly funny. In trying to shape the narrative, Prince Harry ended up creating a bigger story for Rogan to react to, where Harry once again became the unexpected punchline. The American comedy scene kept expanding the jokes, but stand-up comedians took things even further with a more direct and raw style. Comedians like Andrew Schulz dropped subtlety completely and went straight in, reflecting the blunt opinions some audiences already had. While Schulz brushed the topic off with sharp humor, other comedians like Nikki Glaser took a different angle, imagining a far less glamorous life Meghan might have had if her path had gone differently. And while American comics were bold, British stand-up comedians often went even more personal, using their closeness to royal culture to dig into the foundation of the couple's public story.
Harry and Meghan are losing their titles? That's the most embarrassing royal loss since William's hairline. And I won't lie, if I was Harry and Meghan, I'll be like, fine, then we'll be known as Royale.
Comedian Simon Brodkin directly questioned Meghan's intentions in a very pointed way. Brodkin also satirized what he saw as an exaggerated narrative in their documentary, breaking it down into a more cynical and simplified version of events. This kind of criticism wasn't limited to stand-up stages either. It spilled into animated satire like The Prince, which mocked their financial ambitions and post-royal lifestyle in an exaggerated way. The show didn't just focus on money either. It also took sharp aim at Meghan's public image, portraying her as someone constantly seeking attention from the spotlight. The criticism was coming from all directions, stand-up, television, and animation alike. And the most controversial joke of all, the one linked to Jimmy Carr that reportedly sparked major backlash, is still ahead. But the wave of UK satire wasn't slowing down, especially with shows like Spitting Image leading the charge. In one of its most biting sketches, the show used a Prince Harry puppet to deliver criticism aimed directly at Meghan's post-royal career choices in a heavily exaggerated comedic style.
It's not like Harry and Meghan need those titles for us to know who they are. No one here has names like Harry and Meghan and they're like, which Harry and Meghan? The ones from Nashville? Is that them?
While the show portrayed Meghan as a calculated opportunist, it also pushed a sharper angle on Harry, painting him as a clueless, overly pampered man who barely understands everyday life and relies on staff for almost everything. The show kept doubling down on this spoiled prince image, even dragging in jokes about his lifestyle choices and throwing in a quick jab at Meghan's wellness-style smoothie content. The satire wasn't just about personalities either. It also targeted their huge wealth and how far removed they seemed from normal life, captured through jokes about their Netflix deal and what critics saw as extreme privilege.
Meghan and Harry's son Archie, he's gonna grow up and be like, let me get this straight. We used to be in the royal family? Like I could have been a king and now I'm working at Burger King? Is that what you're saying?
This kind of harsh comedy wasn't limited to puppets. The frustration spilled into real celebrity reactions too, including Kelly Osbourne, who delivered a heated, profanity-heavy rant aimed directly at Harry that shocked audiences. That level of emotion showed how personal the whole conversation had become, but comedian Jimmy Carr took things even further with a joke that many people felt crossed a serious line. He turned a sensitive public concern into a punchline in a way that instantly sparked controversy.
Generously offered to keep the wax figures of Harry and Meghan safe.
Yeah, that's correct. I would just like to say that I'm definitely not using the wax figures for sex stuff.
The joke triggered a massive online backlash because it referenced fears tied to royal succession and controversial historical associations that many viewers felt should never be used in comedy at all. It became one of the most debated moments in the entire comedy wave. With the satire hitting its most extreme point, people started asking where all this material was even coming from in the first place. Many critics argued that the Sussexes themselves often became the source of inspiration through their own public moments. A clear example came from a strange controversy around a scene in Meghan's Netflix series.
They are in a loving home, and I treat them better than the museum ever did. They didn't appreciate Meghan's soft hands or Harry's supple lips.
I don't think anyone in the world knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box and loves it. It's so funny, too, that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know, I'm Sussex now. This moment caught attention online and quickly spread. Even celebrities like Amy Schumer reacted, making a subtle joke about how titles are used differently in public life, which instantly got people talking and debating online. Another comparison also circulated online, involving Kate Middleton's title usage, with commentators questioning how public figures are addressed differently in similar situations.
Meghan Markle is on the American program Suits.
Yes, Wednesdays, 8 p.m, USA Network. Check it out.
The only difference between that show and this is people watch this one.
The discussion escalated further when clips resurfaced showing Meghan appearing to correct actress Mindy Kaling for using her maiden name, which quickly went viral across social media platforms. Once the clip spread, it sparked thousands of fan-made parodies, with creators exaggerating the moment and turning it into sharp comedic commentary about public image and identity.
Whenever the kids are being fussy and not going to bed, she puts on an episode of Suits and they're out. So,
What are you doing? Ow! Stop it!
Those parodies didn't stop there. They expanded into mocking broader parts of her public persona, including claims about close friendships with high-profile celebrities, which some viewers questioned. From there, the satire widened even more, targeting her lifestyle branding and public projects. Many creators focused on her cooking-related content, arguing it felt overly polished and disconnected from everyday reality.
Buckingham Palace does not comment on political matters. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you and goodbye, said Williams here. Yes, sir.
The wave of parody content eventually built toward a bigger critique, with creators highlighting what they saw as a growing gap between her public image and ordinary life experiences, turning it into one of the most heavily debated cultural talking points online. After the wave of jokes, sketches, and online parodies, the whole situation started shifting into something even bigger than comedy. It turned into a full-on culture debate. People weren't just laughing anymore, they were split right down the middle. Some saw it as harmless entertainment, a mix of satire and celebrity commentary that comes with fame in the modern world.
I'm so busy and happy. I'm glad we didn't make it, Harry. I don't want to be a duchess and live in a huge house for free.
Others felt the jokes had crossed a line, turning personal life moments into non-stop public targets. What made things even more intense was how fast the internet kept recycling every clip. A single interview moment, a short reaction, or even a facial expression could turn into a viral meme within hours, spreading across platforms like wildfire. This constant cycle created a strange effect where the original context often got lost completely. Instead of full stories, people were reacting to fragments, punchlines, and edited moments that fueled even more opinions online.
One time, I just woke up, I'm in my underwear, I plop down in front of the TV, I turn it on. The moment I turn it on, Prince Harry's talking shit about me.
Late night shows, stand-up specials, and online creators all started feeding into the same loop. Each new joke didn't just stand alone, it stacked on top of everything that came before it, building a massive wave of ongoing commentary. And as the conversation grew, so did the creativity of the satire. Some comedians leaned into subtle irony, using calm storytelling and dry humor to make their point land harder.
If she didn't marry him, she would be on The Bachelor this season. She would be Megan M. from Sherman Oaks barista. She's just got lucky.
Others went loud, exaggerated, and unapologetic, pushing every angle for maximum reaction. At the same time, audience reactions became just as important as the jokes themselves. Comment sections, reaction videos, and social threads turned into battlegrounds of opinion, with people breaking down every line and debating what was fair, what was funny, and what went too far. Even neutral observers found themselves pulled into it, because once a topic becomes this widespread in entertainment, it stops being just about the individuals involved. It becomes about how comedy itself is changing in the digital age. One major shift was how quickly public sentiment could swing. A moment that seemed funny in one context could be viewed very differently just hours later once it was reposted, reframed, or taken out of its original setup. That unpredictability made every new joke feel like a potential flashpoint.
I don't know how to break this to you, H. But if you weren't in the royal family, M wouldn't be with you.
Creators also started responding to each other directly through content. A sketch in one show could spark a reaction video, which then inspired another parody, creating a chain reaction of humor, criticism, and commentary, all feeding into each other. This back and forth blurred the line between original comedy and response content. It became less about a single punchline and more about an ongoing conversation happening across platforms, formats, and audiences. Meanwhile, audiences began to notice something else, too: the sheer speed of it all. There was barely any pause between a real-life moment and its transformation into entertainment material.
Ginger Royal meets fit American actress. She then discovers that everything is so unfair. He then discovers that racism is actually a bad thing.
Everything moved fast, sometimes too fast for reflection. And yet, despite all the noise, the fascination didn't slow down. If anything, it kept growing because people were drawn to the mix of fame, satire, and controversy playing out in real time. Comedians, creators, and commentators all kept adding their own layer to the story, each one shaping how the public interpreted the next wave of jokes.
Complaining, I'm the only one that's ever had mental problems. Like, my life was so hard. Everybody's life is hard.
And just when it felt like the cycle might calm down, a new angle, new clip, or new reaction would appear online, pulling everyone right back into the discussion again. So what's the final verdict? It's that their story is no longer fully in their control. It has been taken over and reshaped by fans, critics, and comedians who constantly use their own interviews, statements, and public content as material against them. This isn't just a simple PR issue. It looks more like a deep structural flaw in how their entire post-royal public image was built.
If something terrible happened to William and Kate and the kids, right? The Queen and Charles are very old, they're going to go at some stage, and then you're left with King Andrew. No one wants that.
They created a narrative filled with contradictions that were always going to face heavy public pressure and scrutiny. This has turned into a major cautionary example for the influencer era. You can't demand privacy while also selling personal access to your life. You can't talk about protecting the planet while living a highly privileged travel lifestyle. And you can't speak about hardship while being surrounded by extreme wealth and comfort. Over time, those contradictions start to stand out and they become an easy target that audiences notice fast. That's exactly the weak point comedians like Trevor Noah focused on with sharp precision. They didn't need harsh attacks, they just needed to observe and highlight what was already visible. The global reaction wasn't just about insults, it was about exposing inconsistencies that the public felt were already there in plain sight.
I don't think anyone in the world knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box and loves it.
It's so funny, too, that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know I'm Sussex now.
The punchlines didn't create the issue. They simply revealed it in a way that spread worldwide. And once someone becomes a punchline in the public eye, it becomes very difficult to fully escape that image. Every attempt to be taken seriously risks getting pulled back into the same narrative loop again. That leaves one big question about what comes next. The major Oprah interview was meant to be the final explanation. Then the Netflix docuseries was meant to clarify everything further. After that, Harry's memoir Spare was positioned as the ultimate personal truth. But each of these large-scale projects, instead of closing the story, ended up feeding it further. They became material for commentary, content for reactors, and fresh talking points for critics, which kept the cycle going instead of ending it. With so many major narrative moments already used up, and with public perception now deeply divided, the question becomes even more uncertain. What direction can they take from here?
But why don't we have to call Kate Middleton Kate of Wales? Okay, Hilaria, out.
Is it possible to rebuild a new image after so much public exposure? Or are they now locked into a long-running public storyline that keeps repeating no matter what they do? After everything that's happened, the spotlight doesn't look like it's fading anytime soon. Instead, it feels like the cycle has locked into place, with every new appearance, interview, or project instantly becoming part of the ongoing public conversation. What makes this moment even more intense is how unpredictable public reaction has become. A single comment can be praised in one corner of the internet and completely torn apart in another, all within minutes. That split reaction keeps the discussion alive far longer than any single headline ever could.
My name is Megan Sussex now. Call me Meghan Markle one more time, Mindy Kaling.
The media landscape has also changed the rules of the game. Traditional interviews used to shape the narrative in a controlled way, but now every clip is chopped, shared, and reinterpreted across countless platforms. Nothing stays contained anymore. It spreads, mutates, and turns into something bigger than the original moment. At the same time, comedians and creators continue to play a major role in shaping perception. They don't just react to events, they help define how those events are remembered. A sharp joke or viral sketch can sometimes become the version of the story that people recall the most. This creates a strange situation where public figures are no longer just speaking to audiences. They're also indirectly speaking to an entire ecosystem of remixers, reactors, and commentators who will immediately reshape everything they say.
The best way to have a snack is to take the snack out of one bag, move them into another bag, and then label this new bag.
And in that environment, even carefully planned messages can take on a life of their own. What was meant as clarity can turn into confusion, and what was meant as control can end up fueling more debate instead. That's why every new move feels so high stakes. It's not just about what is said anymore, but how fast it spreads, who picks it up, and what angle it gets turned into next. In the end, the story has become less about one couple and more about how modern fame works in a non-stop digital spotlight. And in that system, every moment, no matter how small, has the potential to become the next big talking point exploding across the internet again. Got something to say about this? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get into it. If this breakdown made you see things differently, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Tap that like button and share this with someone who needs to hear it.